Here we go. Today, no losses, just lessons. 2025.
That's
Man,
true.
there's so much going on in today's society with the president and MLK past weekend, but we're here, and we had a great turnout here for MLK.
That's cool.
On the 20th, it was amazing. We probably felt like 1,000 people. That's the first time we did it on that day. And normally last year we did probably like maybe 1,400 to 1,500 people, but there was so much going on MLK with parades and parties and stuff like that. But it was consistently great the whole day. We had a DJ outside. It was no long wait, so everybody was getting in and out. A lot of people at outside, and it was a good turnout. God really blessed that event for us. So we were talking about today, Ms. Saba.
Okay, so as we know, I'm Saba Baptiste, and today we're going to talk about Tuskegee Airmen. And the reason why we're going to talk about the Tuskegee Airmen is that President Trump, he revoked the DEI policy that was in place since Lyndon Johnson, 1965. And that's when we started having the equal workplace, and you couldn't discriminate on race, gender, sexual orientations, and all of those things. And so the question today is going to be, what does Tuskegee Airmen have to do with the DEI? So you want to give some thoughts to that?
I will comment on that.
Okay.
But it's with the DEI, you know what I'm saying?
And we like to say diversity, equity, and inclusion,
Right.
DEI.
And then, so we, as a black people, in affirmative action, I guess it was always put in place to help us
Right.
get to where we need to be at a faster rate. However, the eradicating of those laws, it really won't affect us, in my opinion, because we didn't benefit from them.
Exactly.
You know, white women benefited the most from the DEI and affirmative action. Maybe Clarence Thomas, he benefited from affirmative action, but outside of him, we didn't benefit from that as a race of people, you know.
Exactly.
I was truly offended. You know, I never disrespect the seat that the president sit in, President Trump, because if I do, I'll be just like our counterparts that did that when Obama was there. I respect that chair. So if it was an elected official,
That's right.
He's a president of the free world.
That's right.
But I'm still offended by the things that you can't take away the history that we've brought and our contribution that we made to America and to the world. And sadly, that's what he's trying to do. Saba said the Tuskegee Airmen, they was a vital part of the Air Force. And now they can't even teach or show a video concerning their contribution to the military. And it's all because they were black men and women.
I'd like to chime in when you're ready.
Go ahead.
Okay, so good news, right? As soon as that DEI policy was put in motion and it impacted the Air Force with the Tuskegee Airmen, both sides of the House halted that action. And that new Mr. Hesekas, Pete Hesekas, he just was nominated, and he's the Secretary of the Military, and he took care of it. So the Air Force said no one will be extracting Tuskegee Airmen out of the training. And so I want to just tell people who may not be familiar with the Tuskegee Airmen. And you also know it's a HBCU named after Tuskegee University. So I'm going to just let you know who were the Tuskegee Airmen. The Tuskegee Airmen, an active fighter unit from 1940 to 1952, were the first black soldiers who flew during the World War II. The military was segregated until President Truman Executive Order 9981 on July the 26th, 1948. They became integrated. And the Tuskegee had 992 pilots trained at Tuskegee Airfield, and 355 of them served in World War II. The accomplishments: destroyed 251 enemy aircraft, 150 distinguished flying crosses they earned. They were in constant demand. All the other, well, we'll say the white pilots who was flying, the bombers, wanted the Tuskegee Air Force to protect them and get them across enemy lines and back to safety.
They were needed.
They were needed. They were
Right.
preferred. Every pilot in that military preferred a Tuskegee Airman to come out with their team so they can have safe in the enemy line and back home. And they did that better than anyone in that Air Force. They were credited with destroying 112 enemy aircraft in the air, 150 on the ground, and 148 damaged. So they over-contribute. Now, that was something else we need to make note. Black Americans fought in the very first Revolution War, 1812, and every war after that. So we just want to make sure that this is not the first time Black people were in the military. It's been since 1812.
Yeah, but Saba, you said they contributed, and I don't think so. I just think that any time that you give us, meaning people of color, Black, opportunity, we will always pretty much be the best. If the playing field's level, we will always be top tier.
Yes, and that's true. I mean, we have proven that many times.
But I'm just saying, because it's offensive at this point, with stuff the president is doing. We've done so much with less.
So I like to make sure that we understand that, yes, he revoked the DEI, and the instructions were that all the companies go in and review their policies.
I got to stop you real quick.
Okay.
You can go right back to your point.
Okay.
It's even to the point of the day. We had a tragedy in the United States.
Right.
Where 67 people were killed in that accidental
The
helicopter and plane.
And plane crash.
President Trump said he believed it was a DEI hiring.
I heard that.
That's the cause of it. So he's blaming that on, he's saying that DEI probably put a Black person in.
He said a Black person?
Just listen. He said it probably was a DEI hiring that had somebody that wasn't qualified to be doing that job, and that's probably why it was an accident. That's probably why the accident happened. And,
Okay.
and the reporter asked the question. He said, "Well, I have common sense. That's why I can say that."
So let me just clarify something about the DEI. The benefactors of diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, from the Department of Labor, anyone can check this, the number one benefactor is white women.
Right.
And white men as CEOs. Number two benefactor, Hispanics and Latino Americans. Number three benefactor, Asian Americans. Number four, individuals with disabilities. Number five, veterans. Number six, LGBTQ, is that right?
LGBT.
Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah, that's
okay. And number seven, Black Americans, meaning that it was designed for us, and as you see, we at the bottom tier. That's with everything, with affirmative action, that's with civil rights overall. And what my big question is, why is it that our politicians are not out there advocating for us? We don't get in these services, and the data bled out that Black men they don't even mention Black men as being competitive in those fields.
Right.
So all of these things that came about during emancipation, all the way back to Lincoln including the civil rights, those laws was made for Black Americans, descendants of slaves, freemen, and we are the ones who do not get to use it.
Right. I mean,
That's troubling. So the reason why I was trying to interject, I didn't know if he said Black, because if he said a DEI hire, he have to be talking about white women and everybody else.
right, because we the last one.
We're the last
on the
ones.
totem
We don't
pole.
even compete in that. And I have never seen anyone that got a job in the recent time, last 20, 30 years, that get a job because of DEI hire.
Right.
No one can say that. And even when they called the last candidate that ran for president, that was an Indian American typically.
Right.
And so again, we do not get the very same laws that was made to protect us on the job. It doesn't apply to us.
Right.
And that's what is more disturbing to me, that all of these things that we fought for, died for, bled for, and built America for, we don't get to use them.
Yeah, and it's sad. It seems like every day is something that is supposed to benefit us. He's overturning.
It's overturned.
Or eradicating.
Right.
But we never,
Right.
to be honest with you, man, we never benefit from it. And we just keep pushing.
Right.
And it's sad, you know what I'm saying? Because now, I mean, to do it in this fashion, it just, I was going to appreciate you, bro. Thank you. All right, doing it in this fashion, it's just blatant and it's disrespectful.
Right.
You know, to everybody. I mean, like, thank you, man. Our contribution, I mean, like, the stoplight, we invented that. You know what I'm saying? It's so many things that we have partook in and made a positive contribution to this world, not just the United States of America, but the world. If to have our commander-in-chief, you know, doing what he's doing, man.
But I don't want to lay it square on this time. I think we need to look back in history. How come we didn't get a chance to have access to any of this that's for us? For instance, the same war that the Tuskegee Airmen, World War II, when they came out of the military, they couldn't even use the GI Bill.
Right, and then, you know, they couldn't get
They couldn't go to school.
they couldn't get loans for housing.
Loans for housing.
I mean, it was just like they were Black, but he saw white people.
Yes.
The white people came fought in that same war.
Yeah.
They got loans for housing and everything. I mean,
They went to college, they got loans for houses,
yeah.
And instead, the Black community was redlined. We were pushed back, and we wasn't given loans, and then we were pushed out of the competitive communities.
Right. So the whole thing about that is right there. We can talk about this till we're blue in the face. And it is what it is. So my suggestion, if you're watching this podcast, if they're not going to respect us and our black dollar, let's take out the white economy and put it in the black economy. Now, that's hard because we don't own grocery stores. We don't own a lot of stuff. That's sad to say. Because when we did own stuff and we was self-sufficient, they blew up Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, North Carolina, you know, Rosewood, you know. So it's like we damn if we do, damn if we don't. You know, when we try to come together as a cohesive unit for the benefit of our race, they killed it and killed us. Now here we are again. The alarm's at the gate. And what are we gonna do? So, you know, Walmart is on the list. They're not supporting any kind of inclusion.
Right.
Target's on the list.
Yes.
So we gotta go to Publix.
Now, and Target's on the list is quite interesting. It might be true for Walmart, but a lot of the products that Black people develop is in their stores.
It was.
Right,
but
it was,
yeah,
right.
They're taking them out.
Right.
So now, I was trying to get together and go to Divine Nine, NAACP. I talked to Pastor Jackson yesterday from Mount Pleasant over in West Tampa. Talked to him for a good, probably about 40 minutes, great conversation. And he said the problem that we're having is that we're not in church. And I agree with that for the most part. because all I can say about that, Saba, when we was in church, we still had these problems, but we were together as a people. The black dollar didn't leave the community in 60 seconds. We recycled the black dollar here at least 3 to 4 times before it left Carver City. 60 seconds, and it's out of this community. But, so, back to the point I'm trying to make, we have to start finding things for us to invest in. This is global. I mean, this is, in the United States of America, we had to start, because what they're doing, they don't respect us, but they're going to welcome our dollar. Oh, come on in. And now, they passed a law about discrimination. They can just tell you, no, you can't come here. We don't want to serve you. And it's not breaking the law. So that was eradicated as well.
Well, one of the things that we need to know about is that I think they were doing that anyhow. The court system never, yes, the court system was there, but it was never, we couldn't access a lot of those legal strands. I mean, we can look at any institution around us, the largest one being Hillsborough County Public Schools, the city of Tampa. All of that have always gone on about discrimination for jobs and opportunities. And this list is a proof of it. This list have been put in place since 1965.
Right.
This is how they went by giving jobs, giving favor, whether you deserve it or not. They use this list here to make sure people got ahead of us.
Thank you.
And so since they got jobs and they were always ahead of us, we thought there was something wrong with us. The very people who built this country could not get those jobs.
Well, even what you're saying, like Martin Luther King said back, excuse me, when they were giving land, acres, hundreds of acres of land in the Midwest to the Europeans, and gave nothing to people that was forcibly brought here. So, I mean, we can go on and on about that.
Yes.
Saba, my thing is we need a solution, and the solution is spend your money with people that look like you. We got one black gas station in Tampa on MLK and Orient. We need to go get gas there. He should have a line right now. We got a lot of black restaurants. You gotta you gotta eat there, you know. And I can't tell you, I can't tell you what to do, but we need to be trying to put something together so we can fund our own stuff.
And I agree with you. And I'd like to say one other thing that I think is really important. We need to understand these bills and these policies, because I understand that we're upset right now, and we've probably been upset a lot.
I'm not upset. I feel disrespected. I'm not upset though.
Okay. All I'm saying is that we have to practice better politics than we do as a group of people, because we have not, just because this administration is in session, we've been experiencing this for 50 years, and we need to know what policies out there. These politicians, they run, we vote for them, and they're not fighting for us. They're not fighting for the freemen. Right. I think that is a strategy that we need to come up when we start stepping to the voters' box too.
I agree 100%.
Right. I think, to me, that will, and what you're saying is true. I think a combination of strategies. We need to make sure when we go in that box, that person is doing something for us, our community, because our community is definitely have not experienced any of the success that the white woman, the Hispanic woman, the Latino woman, the Asian woman have experienced, the LGBTQ people, the individual disability. We have not experienced all of those successes, and we need to come together and say, politician, what bill is out there, what law you're going to put in place to make sure we now become priority, because we have never been priority.
Right, but Saba, you missing my point.
No, I agree with your point.
I know, but I'm saying, like, when you say that, we're never going to be priority to them. So we got to make ourselves priority.
Then we don't need to vote. If we're saying we're not going to be, why do we vote then?
Right, I agree. We vote because people died for the right for us to have.
No, people died for the right for us to have an option to vote.
Right.
An option.
Right.
And sometimes not voting is the option, or voting is the option.
Right. I mean, but if we're voting, so let's just say, let's go back, and we're in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we're at Black Wall Street. I'm pretty sure them people didn't give a damn what they did, because they was self-sufficient in every aspect of the world.
Yep.
You understand? So
their community was very beautiful.
Right. So we have to get back to that.
I agree with you.
So if we got back to that,
yes.
No, let them vote. Let them do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're in our own little world, but we still got to govern ourselves.
I agree.
Just like you said, this is the DEI was for us.
Right.
And we the last ones on the list.
And that means we don't get selected.
Right. But that really didn't stop us.
Right, it didn't.
You know what I'm saying? So only reason why we talking about it right now because the president felt in his power to let you know, and by the way, I'm taking this down. Because he don't respect women. You know, because that's who benefit from the most, but they think it's about us.
Yeah.
No, it's about women.
Well, he said that. He also said, look, you know, they have that fight about the birthright citizenship.
Right.
He said last night that the 14th Amendment was for the blacks coming out of slavery. He says that all what's going on, where people are paying people to come here and have babies, coming in, the open borders, none of that was supposed to be given. None of those people were supposed to be given citizenship.
So, I agree with that. I do. I don't want people coming in
illegally.
Right. But it is some people that's here that are good.
Of course.
You know, but with the people that's coming in with all these murders and robberies and stuff like that, you know, I feel my heart goes out to him. He's sending their ass to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
He is. That's that's where they are.
Right. So it's tough. I mean, could you imagine? I'm looking at, you know, I get the paper from Waco, Texas, and I'm looking at Texas, and they saying 27 to 30% of the farmers are not going to work out of fear. They're going to be
deported.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and then you know, California saying this is going to make the 45% increase in food. You know what I'm saying? Because if you have nobody to work, you know, the stuff that you do get out, you're gonna gouge it.
See, here's my problem. This is my problem, and this is probably a topic for another day. But I have to admit that now, if they're farm workers, they are on a visa. They're here for that particular agriculture.
If they're on a visa.
Yes, that's
right.
So to me, I still think that a lot of things have gotten out of hand. Right. Okay. So. We're the bad people because we don't want open borders. We don't want the insane and crazy and molesters and all come over.
Right.
You know, so I think if you're here on a visa and maybe it expired, then they should. And you're doing agriculture, then they should extend it until. That's just.
So Sab. So okay, now I want to put your feet in their shoes. Damn, you want us to come over here and do this cheap ass labor. But if we don't do that, you want to send me to goddamn Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
I don't think make sense. I don't think that's the group they send in. They send in the criminals.
No, it don't really matter, Saba, because if they pull up anybody and they don't have proper ID, their ass is putting them handcuffs on them and they going.
Well,
I promise you, I got it on video.
Okay, I'm not opposing it. I'm just saying
that shit is crazy to even think like that. If it's me personally and my family, I'm going to Guantanamo Bay. Because if I can do this labor, this farm labor, and then I'm walking in the city after getting off my shift, and the mother had a right to come pick me up. Shit, that's not right.
Well, just to make sure everybody's clear, they still have the right, even with the citizens, to stop and frisk. It's the same kind of concept.
That's so they doing that in the inner city everywhere.
Stop and frisk is for American citizens.
Yeah. No,
and the people that get impacted is black people.
Hold on, we're gonna do this podcast. we're gonna be brutally honest. It is not for the American people.
It's for black people.
Thank you.
I said black people.
Well, you said it. You said
I
for
said American people, so I was separating the illegal immigrants from that.
No. I know. It's for the American.
You wind up to that.
I am. Because I'm not upset. I feel disrespected.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But the frisk and search, whatever it is, it's for black boys. It's for black boys and black girls that don't look the part.
They don't have to look the part.
Exactly.
They have a law, stop and frisk. They can anybody they want to roll up on.
Right.
Anybody.
But if you look the part, you're right. But so listen to this. Give yourself an opportunity and give yourself a chance. Be clean cut, because you come out there with that crazy hair, pants sagging, they're gonna stop and frisk your ass. I'm just being honest with you, Saba. That's what it is.
Well, one of the things they do with that stop and frisk, you're driving while black. That's one of the things.
Right.
So,
right.
I don't know if clean cut will help. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that. Everything is crazy. It's predators.
And you spot on with that, because when you're driving, they don't know who it is. They just run your tag, and it's a black person. But I'm talking like rolling up on the set in West Tampa, or Ponce de Leon, Rovers Park, in those areas, and you see somebody, and you just get your car. Give me your ID.
That's true.
And there's a thing about it, for what?
Mike, do you think people should should be clean cut to not be frisked? Or is that like an additional benefit?
I just think that's the way that we was. That's the way, bruh. Even our rappers in my era, they were clean cut. Now they got all this shit, this crazy. The rappers came with this crazy ass hairdos, dreads. That's part of a culture, Bahamian culture. That's part of their culture. When you see Bahamians and Haitians, that's part of their culture. We are black Americans. And even the rap guys, now they got dreads. And they say and that shit is killing America. The rap music, because they believe that shit is subliminal messaging, just programming these kids in the worst way. One of my kids as well. You know what I'm saying? I just be on their ass like that. But you need to be clean cut. When you talking about HBCUs, we're the smartest. The Divine Nine, we had the best of the best. We were always clean, we always looked the part. The fraternity I joined, and even my fraternity today, you got guys with dreadlocks. But I joined that fraternity because I wanted to identify with the guys that looked like me. I had waves back then. We were always clean cut. Shirt and tie, Monday through Thursday. That was the organization I joined. Even in my fraternity, we got guys with dreads.
So just be clear here. Let's be clear. If your hair is in locks, it should not signal that you need to be stop and frisk.
It shouldn't. But I believe, in my opinion, they would stop them first before stopping a young man that's tucked in, and he has his hair waved up.
What if he got the locks and he's wearing a suit?
It depends on where he at. You know what I'm saying? If he in corporate America, then yeah, he see, like, that's still that's a scenario that I don't think they'll stop him. But it depends on where he at. If he's in the inner city with a suit, yeah, they're gonna stop his ass.
But everything is subjective, right? It's to them. It's whatever they decide they want to do.
And they might be offended that he's in the suit.
So the people who are not clean cut, what are they trying to be part of? That, why are people trying to be like that?
Man, if I can answer that question, I can pick the lottery numbers. I can't really answer that question intelligently, but I can give you an opinion. The rap music, bro. The rap music. The people they see on TV, the people they idolize. You gotta have fathers. You know, for the most, all my kids now, my boys, they waved up. They got, my girls, we good. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just talking about the masses. Her son looks great. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not worried about her and my friends, because we understand. So Mike had his hair like that. He was twisting his hair up, and I said, man, look, give yourself the benefit of the doubt. I mean, you're a good-looking kid, man. Cut your hair, man. You're gonna be the face of somebody's organization one day. And for us, it's all. So the DEI, the DEI was for us, and we're at the bottom. So we'll never get to the top.
Meaning the money always run out, or the opportunity runs out before it gets to us. We never have the opportunity to experience all the things that we fought for, our ancestors, and even we continue to fight. And I'd like to put something else out there too.
Go ahead.
I want to say thank you, Mike Trigg, and people like Mike Trigg for still keeping the culture going forward, the positive, all the great things that we do, because we don't say it enough to our black men. And I just want to thank you for that. You know, although today you're a little bit over the top.
Yeah, I'm on one today, but I had these guys come by from the University of Tampa.
Right.
So I got this rule here where if you play high school ball or whatever, and you're in college, you get a meal a week for free. When you graduate, you got to pay. So these guys came from the University of Tampa, and I'm gonna send this podcast to them when you send it to me. And they came up, same things I'm talking about right now, same description: hair, pajama pants, flip flops. I said, bro, you go to the University of Tampa. That's one of the most prestigious universities in the Southeast.
Sure is.
That degree carries probably more weight than South Florida. You know, I say, bro, when you come here and I'm feeding you for free, look the part. I'm not asking you to come here with a polo shirt or a suit, but you play basketball, you can come with your shirt, some Nike shorts, some tennis shoes, and get your meal, bro. Because kids come in here, they see you. They'll never think y'all play basketball in college, but they see you come in with University of Tampa stuff, they might ask a question. You know what I'm saying? And then that's how reach one, teach one. Well, how you get to University of Tampa? You never had the opportunity looking that way. When you talking about the DEI and Saba saying we way down here. Last. Okay, we'll continue to be last because if we can't take care of the little things, you know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Within ourselves. So I don't care about that DEI shit. I want us to govern ourselves. Black college. We didn't take, really, when I was in school, we didn't take money from the government. That's why we had open door policy. That means if you graduate from high school, we give you opportunity at Fort Valley State. Now they done got government assistance, now you gotta have a test score to get in there. All designed to keep our ass out of there.
Right. DEI.
God damn.
Yes, so there are mechanisms in society that is definitely infringing on us as a progression, but we find other ways. But I think if we ever get our foot in the door, you know, if we ever figure it out where we govern ourselves and we give ourselves opportunities, it'll be no stopping us. But I'm still concerned about politicians, you know? I'm still concerned about what are their, and knowing their jobs. They're supposed to know policy. They're supposed to advocate for black empowerment, because one of the last things that Dr. Martin Luther King was talking about, black power, black economics, black empowerment. And we still haven't moved towards that. And this DEI situation, it needs to come back up because we got a lot of work to do. We still have to help ourselves. There's no Superman coming to help us, so we do need to come together. So I do support you, Mike, on what you're saying. But I think we need to knock on those doors on those politicians, say, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, we're not voting for you.
Okay, Saba. Okay, listen. I hear you wholeheartedly. And you're right. But this is my position. Why even spend that effort and that energy? I want to focus on us.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at today.
I think that's a focus. We don't have to focus on them. So are you saying we should not be voting?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just
then
saying.
Why vote if we can't get anything?
No, I understand what you're saying. So right now, the Democratic Party needs to be getting somebody ready right now. As we speak, they should be getting somebody ready right now to run in 4 years. Right now. Yeah, they need to get somebody ready. But are they? You know what I'm saying? You know, or we can sit here and just, you know, when 4 years come, we go to the polls again. Oh, come on, we're gonna have a voter registration drive. So what we need to be doing, Saba, just like I said, the Democrats need to get somebody ready right now. We need to be talking to people right now, young people, from the ages of 18 to 25, 18 to 30. Guys, you got to get out and vote. We need to start doing that right now. For the 4 years, when the 4 years come, they'll understand the magnitude of their vote. That make sense?
It makes sense, but I also want to say politics is local too. We need to pay attention to our local politics, what's going on, that impacts our bread and butter locally.
I agree with that. But me personally, and I'm not saying this, but it was just me and God. I haven't had a loan. I started in that place right there, 500 square foot, and I worked and got this spot right here that we in with this podcast. Then I got the other part of the building, and I haven't got one loan. So that's how we did it. Blacks, we couldn't get loans. My grandfather, let me tell you a story real quick. My grandfather at Big John's, Sabo. Nobody would give my grandfather credit. So he'll sell a box of ribs, go back and get 2. Sell 2, go back and get 4. That wasn't it. The man was getting the meat market, the way he was getting his meat from, they would open the box and take 3 slabs out.
Wow.
And my grandfather got caught with what they was doing because his money wasn't adding up. He knew he wasn't gonna burn, he couldn't afford to burn the slab, so he knew he had already calculated what he's supposed to make. And he said, wait a minute, something ain't right. So what he started doing was opening the box.
In front of them.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? But why y'all making it so hard? We're the most oppressed people.
Yes, intentionally.
Yes,
intentionally.
So with President Trump, you know, it's intentional that he's spitting in our face right now.
What if a black meat market?
We don't have one. But what's up? What? Yeah. If we had one, that's when we need to take our dollars. See, they got black grocery stores in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Because Mr. Farrakhan, that's where he resides. You know what I'm saying? They got everything black up there. And see, that's a metropolitan city. This is a progressive city, but it's not metropolitan.
Well, what happened to us, we got caught up in the integration piece. We forgot to take care of our community. We got kind of locked in. We didn't know it was a trap. We got locked into integration.
Well, if you want to know the truth, Martin Luther King fell for that trap. Okay. And he said it. He said to Harry Belafonte, they had a meeting, and it was 5 days before Dr. King died, and he said, he asked Martin, what's wrong? He was bothered. And he told him, I believe I sent my people into a burning building.
Yes.
And, and Harry Belafonte said, well, explain what you're saying. He said, well, we're going to get the segregation law. He said, but the people in the United States, what's going on, what's up, Dad? Are not moral. They're just not moral people. You know what I'm saying? And he said, we'll never have morality. You understand? And he said, you know, I forced kids to go sit in Woolworth, get spat on, thrown in jail, spit on, everything. And while we were sitting there, they were still, we're gonna get no service. And that goes back to last time we had a conversation, Elijah Muhammad, no, we don't go where we're not wanted.
Right.
We'll go over here and we'll build our own. Right. That's where I'm at today.
Right.
I mean, we can, politicians, let's just govern ourselves accordingly.
Yeah.
Put our resources together.
I agree with you, but I also say there is accountability in the fact that every group gets something when it's time to vote. And except in the last 50 years, black people have not gotten one thing, and yet they are still the most loyal voters to a particular party. And I think that needs to change, because if you can't get anything for your vote, then why are you voting? No one else votes unless they get something. And obviously everybody else is getting something for it. So do we leave the voting alone? This is a question. Do we leave the voting alone and go build our own and just let everybody else do their thing, since those politicians are advocating for them?
No, we don't. Because,
okay.
But we need to build our own, and then we do need to hold the politicians accountable.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I agree with you, but I want 60% to build our own, and the 40% on the politicians. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know,
You can slice it any way you want to, but
Right.
they need to be held accountable.
definitely.
Because either they don't know what they need to know, or their actions were intentional.
Right.
To deny us what we were.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so, I think this is good. I think we have kind of exhausted it. I mean, we can go at it from different angles,
Right,
because
right.
there's so many layers that we could talk
it's
about.
like an onion.
Yes,
Just keep-
it's
you
just, it's amazing. But the DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, I just want everybody to know that the thing that they got to look out for now, the federal government is now, it's on a suspension. A letter went out on the 27th to say that all government employees have going to be suspended, and if they want to stay on, they have to let them know by February the 6th.
Or take a severance package.
Or take a severance package. So if you are, and the exclusion is veterans and a Shepherd Act. There's an exclusion in that EO, executive order. So I think I would want to be a policy hawk. I think I'm going to commit to starting to read policies. I hope you, the community, do the same and come back and share, because all of this is educational, but it is to make us stronger and better and wiser. And I want people to consider what Mike is saying. We need to come together and develop our own. We really need to do more for ourselves. So I just like to say that we can do it, because we've done it 1,000 times before.
Yeah.
We can do it. So.
And in closing, I just want to say to people that look like me, same pigmentation, we've always been oppressed, and we always came up on top. You know, so I mean,
And I have to add to that. It's truth that this is intentional. It's not an accident. We're not lazy. This is intentional. So when people say we're lazy, it's because they want what we have. They want it to sound like we're doing something that we're not doing something, but we have done everything. We have done it all. And still, everybody else get the benefit. So never give up, stay inspired. Let's come together and make something out of this.
and I'm gonna tell you this: there's no sense of being upset. And I know you watch news every day now, because it's something new every day that pertains to people of color. Listen to what they're saying on news, and the president, what he's saying. Process it. I've always taught my children we don't run from adversity, we run towards it, but we handle it in an intelligent way. So we're not gonna be belligerent and go out here and say this or say that. No, we're gonna make some intelligent decisions and moves. And that's the way we win today. And that's what they did in the 60s, 50s.
Right.
You know, we studied ourselves approved.
And,
you know?
and that's great. And final, I like to say, as a freeman, we're not considered as people of color. We're the freemen. And so I just want us to make sure, because there's no policy for people of color. There's policy for Black people, descendants of slaves, or freemen. I just want to clarify that. So when you're looking at the policies and moving forward, we need to really take on the right policy, because the people of color says we're a minority.
Right. And that's it. That'll do it.
Thank you.
No losses, just lessons. This was a great lesson today.
Yes.
And let's stay encouraged, and let's be there for each other.
Yes.
God bless.
Yes.
Yo.
Peace. Love you, Tampa Bay.